Good afternoon, happy stampers. This is Judy from judystamps.com, and I'd love to welcome each and every one of you to my HapBEE Stamping Studio. For those of you watching live or on replay, please say hello and share this with your friends. So I was going through some of my wood pieces and came across this ornament that I had made. It was just the wood cut out, and I hadn't painted it yet. And I thought, oh, I forgot all about this design. And I am sure that Hunter would love this guy on a Christmas card. So I thought, why not take this image and put it onto watercolor paper and hand draw it. So I'm going to be using the Round We Go stamp set. I'm going to use it for this image right here for snowflakes. I'm going to use my Balmy Blue Ink, a basic black Stamp and Blend, my Balmy Blue Stamp and Blend, my Balmy Blue Stamp and Write marker, and some watercolor paper. I'm going to mat this on some real red, and the card base will be Balmy Blue. So first I'm going to take my blend, and I am going to draw my outline. Now, take a guess, put in the comments what you think this is going to be. So let me see. Let's start here. My shapes might not be real good. I usually draw it with pencil first. Okay, let's go from him. Let me see. I want his face to kind of go like this. I originally had made a punch card, and that punch card was very similar to the ornament. And I had used punches for most of it. So I was using circles and ovals for my punched pieces. Okay. It's going to be a little bit hard to talk and draw. Let me see. I will be able to blend out some of these images or these lines. Let's see. Can you guess what it is yet? This will go up like that. Let's see. Take this. Go around. Okay. Oh, his feet are going to be a little bit different, but that's okay. He's in a different angle. Let's see if I can get this to go around. Yes, it's a bear, but do you know what kind of bear it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be a brown bear? How about a grizzly bear? Let's have this foot come here. Okay. So next I'm going to draw his eyes and his features. So this eye to go like that. This eye is going to go like that. And round it around his nose. So I'm just going to color these in with my Stamp and Blend. We are going to do some watercoloring. So let's see, his nose is going to have to be like a kidney bean shape a little bit. Okay, so we've got the outlines done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ink pad and squeeze the lid. Get that ink in the lid as if we're watercoloring. I'm going to grab one of my angled brushes. And first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lifter, and I want to make these lines a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to go over all the lines with the lifter, all the Balmy Blue lines. It's a little bit harder drawing with those blends because that's permanent. We got things a little bit off, but that's okay. This foot should have been shorter and rounder, but I'm okay with it. He'll love it because Grandma drew it. Okay. Just go. I don't remember if I went over this. So what that's going to do is that's actually going to lighten those lines as it dries. It'll lift it off, and you can already see that it's lightening a little bit. I could have taken the brush end and done the same thing. Just gone over them. It just depends on, and I can keep going over them. Just depends on how light I want them, but I'm not going to be real particular. Just want to outline him because it is a polar bear, right? A polar bear. So I've got some water here and I've got my brush. So I want to do some shading and some coloring on him. I am also going to take, I don't know what the Blushing Bride. I think the Blushing Bride will use because that's a little bit softer, or Petal Pink. It's a softer pink. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to go around on all those outlines, and I am just pulling ink up on the outside of my brush. So I'm just going to take this, and just like when I'm painting, and it's not going to do anything to that Stamp and Blend line because that is an alcohol base and this is water base. So that is just going to stay there. And as you can see, it's going over that line and it's actually blending the blue out a little bit. So we're going to go with this. So this would be just like stamping an image, but since I didn't have a stamped image that I wanted to use, I am just using my watercolors and my blends. Now, I think it stayed a little bit dark there because my color lifter was still wet. So I'm just going to go back over here and make this line a little bit darker, just so it matches. Okay, now I'm going to go to the background on all of these. So anything that's more in the background, and it's actually pulling color in. So it's giving this image some dimension. And you will see it once it's all done, how it changes. What I'll do is I'll do one side first, and then I'll do the other side so you can see the difference. I'm going to pull this around, and once again, watercolor and blend that color out because I don't want it cartoony. I want it blended. I could have done it in pencil also, but I wanted you guys to see the color and see the image. Although it probably would have been interesting if I had just started painting and then had you guess at what it was going to be. So I can change, see how I changed the shape of that one? That one was a little pointy, but by using my brush, it rounded it. So can you guys tell the difference here? Look at that. So see how the blending is here and there's no blending over here. So I'm going to do his belly. We'll do this next. I am going to be painting a board, and I am going to paint in the ornament on my live over on TikTok. So if you're interested in seeing that, follow me over there. I've been doing a lot of fun stuff over there, a lot of stamping and painting. I go live over there every day at 4:30. So see how that blending? Look at the difference. See here in his belly here compared to here, how it's, and that line is disappearing. So that's just a little trick you can use to do your watercolor cards. Okay, so I'm just following all those lines. And it will be white in the middle. And if I want it to be whiter, all I have to do is take my brush and kind of wiggle some of that away. Because he is getting kind of blue, but he's okay. I love him. I can take, well, I'm going to take some of our white craft ink and do some highlights on this. I'm hoping that it's dry by the end of this live. So I can do that and show you how I can make it a little bit whiter. This would be cute, really cute for a baby boy card too. Hunter's not such a baby, but he does like polar bears. He likes rhinoceroses better, but I'm not too good at painting rhinos. So just take this and I'm just, see how I just wiggle that brush around? Just like that. Okay, now I'm not going to pick up a whole lot of water there. I just want to fade out that line because I'm going to be adding some facial details to this guy. Oops, I do need to pick up a little bit of water. It's not blending very well. There we go. And it's just blending. How many of you have tried making your own designs for any card, for any greeting card? It's so much fun. Okay, so now I want to add a little bit of depth and interest around his eyes. So I'm actually going to take my brush and go around his eyes also. And once again, that black is not going to bleed because it is alcohol ink. Just bring that around. Okay. So we've got that. He's looking cute. I like the white nuzzle, so I'm not going to go around that. Now, I'm drying my brush off. And I'm going to go into this ink and just on the very tip. And I just want to outline his eyes a little bit more to add just a little bit of depth. Now, if your paper is too wet, if you're using too much water, that will blend out. So you need to be careful when doing this to make sure that your paper is not too wet. I do see I need to go around here just a little bit more to blend in that color. Okay, so that is it for the blue for right now. I want that to dry. So I have petal pink here. Once again, I'm going to squeeze my lid, open that up, and we are going to put some cheeks on this guy. So I want to put some pink cheeks. And you'll notice I'm just taking my brush and making a half circle with it. It's just that easy. You don't want too much water with this because it will start going into that blue too much and then it'll make purple. So we just want to add some cheeks. Isn't he cute? I love doing this. Okay, so now I'm going to do the pink in his ears. So once again, another half circle, just like that. Like I said, this inspiration was from my punch classes when I was doing those, and we were doing different shapes. We would do hamburgers and hot dogs and French fry containers and animals and owls and birds and all kinds of things. And I had done a polar bear and I thought it was really cute. And I thought, oh, you know what? I can make an ornament using those same shapes. So I'm just going to put a little bit of blush here on his foot. Now you could do this a brown bear too, a teddy bear, if you'd want. Okay, he needs a mouth and he needs some detail here yet. So I am going to grab my white and I'm going to grab my white refill also, just in case I need it. So my white doesn't look real white, looks a little bit of pinky. Somebody had put some ink in there, stamped by mistake, and it kind of distributes, but it'll still be white. So I'm going to shake this up a little bit. And because I want to do some details on him, I'm just going to put a drop or two of this right there in the lid. Now I can take my same brush. If you want to use a smaller brush, you could. And I'm just going to pick up some ink and thin it out a little bit because I want to add a little bit of highlighting to them. And you won't see that at first, but it will stand out once it's dry. I'm going to add some up here. Okay, I am going to take a small brush. So let me get my brushes. And I'm going to add some detail to his eyes and his nose. And we're going to do a black mouth. So I'm going to take this white ink again, and I just want to add a little line. Oops, it needs to be thinned out. It's a little bit too thick. You gotta get it the right consistency. There we go. I don't want to do it too wet because I do want this to show up. You could also use paint. So I'm just going to draw these eyes on here. And then, like in painting, I always add a couple dots. And then on top of his nose, I'm going to do a little bit of detail there. Like that. Isn't he turning out so cute? Now I am going to, let me see if my journaling pen works. And we are just going to add a little mouth on him. just like that. Okay, now his body should be pretty dry. So I'm going to add some snow because he's kind of sitting in the air, right? So I'm actually going to take, oh, I don't know if that'll be too bright. Let me see what color. I think I'm going to use, ooh, no, I'll use the same blue. Use Balmy Blue, and we're going to add some snow. Now this white does take longer to dry because it is a pigment ink. So I am going to take my brush again and side load it. So I'm only getting ink on that tip. And let's add ground like he is sitting on the ground. We'll add some snow drifts. And I do want those a little bit darker. So I'll go over a couple times. So that way our polar bear will stand out. There we go. And because we're using watercolor paper, we can blend that out a little bit. Get some ink in here. A little bit of shadow. And then just take my brush and keep going over it a little bit to lighten it. I can also take some more water and pull that out. Okay, now I'm going to go into the white. I don't like the way that is in there. I like it a little bit bluer. And I'm going to put some white in here. And I'm going to have to be careful because that white does take a little bit of time to dry. I'm actually going to go over that foot a little bit. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush, get back into the blue, and I can change this up a little bit. It'll get lighter because it's going to mix with that white. There, I like the way that looks. Oops, I got a drip of white on there, or water. Okay, so we need some snowflakes. Isn't he cute? So we need some snowflakes. I want that to dry up there. We're going to use those little images in here. And I don't want them all, so that's why I'm going to use my Stampin' Write marker to color my stamp. You don't want to use the blend because the blend is permanent and it'll just color on the ink and you'll get nothing on your paper. So I don't want to color all of these. Just want to color 3 of them at a time. And we're just going to add some snowflakes. And see how that looks a little bit darker? So there you can see the difference in the ink because I was watercoloring it with it here, and here it's going on full strength. So I don't know if I'm coloring on the same snowflakes or not. I was trying to, but I turned my stamp around. Let's turn this way. Go. So we're just going to fill in some snowflakes in the background. And some of them are light. That's because I had inked that one up before. And so it's like stamped twice or stamped off. Okay, and I just flip this again. So I'm just coloring on here on the side of my Stampin' Write marker. And we need some over here yet. See, I didn't stamp that one down, so we're good there. There we go. Look how cute that looks. Okay, so now I have to measure this piece because I did not measure it yet. So he's just a cute little polar bear. So this piece, we will measure it and then we will cut our mat for it. And I'm not going to go a full 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to probably go the line before the 1/4. So this measures 3 1/2 and 1 tick. So I will go to 3 3/4. And let's see what the length is. I'm being careful not to touch that white. That's 5. So we're going to go 5 and 3 lines. So that's 5 and 3/16. So it's just under a 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to have to get my heat tool out because this is not drying. And this is 3 1/2 and 1 tick. So we're going to go to 3 3/4. So see how it's just got that tiny border around it. Let me get my heat gun out. I want to dry that white before I started hearing it down. And you could even add glitter to this. Let's put this on. So what's everybody been up to today? If you're local, have you been out shoveling again? Dave is actually outside snow blowing while I'm doing this. We had I don't know, our internet was real glitchy this morning and then it went out. So I think they're working on it. I tried calling and they said they're servicing the area. So hopefully that will be done soon. I'm hoping this isn't glitching on you because I seem to be getting a pretty good signal when I came on. Okay. So now I'm going to heat it from the back and that will unwarp the paper. So that helps the paper to straighten out. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. Yes, it does make a difference if you're using watercolor paper compared to our basic white. The watercolor paper is thicker. It's made to absorb the water and made so that you can move that water a little bit around a little bit. Still, see, it's still wet. Okay, so I'm going to put this upside down and just hold it for a second for that glue to dry. Wipe off my surface. Wondering if I should put a candy cane in his hand. I can't do it right yet because this needs to dry. But look how cute that is. Okay, once again, I'm going to put it upside down. I don't want to rub on that white. Okay. So when this is dry, I will put Merry Christmas up here. I will do it in red, stamp Merry Christmas, and I'll probably add a couple peppermint dots to it. So I know you guys don't want to sit on here and wait for that. So be sure to check my blog out tomorrow, and I'll have the finished card on there. Does anybody have any questions before I get off? Well, I hope you guys all try this technique at home and be sure to share with me and us. You could post it here on my page and share your creations with us. So until next time, everybody, happy